Hi, I'm Owen from Myrddin Heritage, and today we're going to be talking about our top 5 pig keeping essentials. So number 1, shelter, an ark. Over the years we kind of built our own arks. They started off so really nice, hand painted each one, but ultimately they haven't stood up to pigs. So these arks that we've got here, we actually bought them off eBay. They were an absolute bargain. I think they were off sort of like a commercial pig farm, and they're absolutely solid. So as you can see, they're reinforced in the corners, inside and outside. So this ark isn't actually in a pen. We've got electric fencing coming off the front of it. But if it was in a pen, that's sort of like a perfect area for a pig to chew on. So it's reinforced all the way down the sides also. So if a pig was trying to chew on here, it won't get anywhere. Where we went wrong before with making our own ones, there was timber exposed here. So it's reinforced all the way around. A nice sort of perk is that it's got a window at the back. This is good for farrowing. So when you're checking up on the piglets, some sows can be quite protective. So it's good to be sort of like a safe distance from them. You can check up on them. You know, when it's nice and warm, you can open the window. When the weather turns, you can close it. So it's really handy. And also another perk is that did want to sort of move them with a tractor, you could put like a chain through the middle, through the window, which we have done to lift them. So number 2, a trough. These have lasted us years actually. One of the best purchases we've made. These are 2 individual troughs, but what we've done is connected them. Again, pigs are very destructive. So if you've got sort of a trough that's quite light, they're going to flip it all the time. They're going to be topping up the water regularly, especially on sort of a nicer day today. You want to make sure they got enough water. So we need to top these up now. So this trough, like I said, is 2 connected. Covers 2 pens, and it's slightly slanted so that the younger ones can reach the trough, and then the boar and the sow in this pen, well, they're tall enough, so they've got the higher side here. So one of the challenges with the troughs, one is keeping them in place. So as you can see, it's between the ark there and the post, and as long as you keep them relatively full, with the weight of that, then they'll struggle to move them. So one of the things about them being free range outdoors is that they cover themselves in mud, so inevitably the water's going to get dirty. So what we do then, we run it quite low, we get a shovel, empty all the mud, top it back up again, and they're good to go. We let them overflow. If it's like a nice day, let them overflow so they got a nice swallow to cool down. So what we use to top up the troughs is this MDP pipe. We used to have them hooked up to the troughs and they'd fill automatically, but you know, when the weather turns, you got low temperatures, the water freezes. Basically it's a bit of a challenge, and you get air in the pipe, you got to take them off, blah blah blah. What we do now is we just turn the tap on, fill each one, and then that's done. The positives of this pipe is that if the pigs do get to sort of chew on it, it's quite tough. And it has a good sort of flow from the trough that we've got further up. So we use just basically gravity. We've got a tank further up, use gravity then through sort of this MDP pipe, and yeah, the flow is pretty good, so it does the job. What we do then is fill them up, take the pipe away, and we're done. So we've got to fill them up probably every 3 days, something like that, depending on the weather. So number 3 is our Gallagher solar powered Energizer. It works an absolute treat in the summer. In the winter, not so much. We do have to charge the battery fairly often. So what we do is in the evening, take the battery out, take it home, charge it, bring it back nice and early. So we're hoping that the pigs are still asleep. So pigs are fairly smart like that. They'll check the fence quite a few times a day to see if it's on. We've got the earth rod here, which is a sort of necessity with the Energizer. So we've knocked that down into sort of like soft ground, and then we've got sort of the live wire, the red clip there, running onto the fence. So we tried to run it at about 5,000 volts. That works quite well with pigs. Probably I'll sort of explain further when we talk about fencing, but 3 wires works well for sort of grower finisher pigs, and then for sows, boars, 2 wires works well, basically to do with their height and if they're sort of experienced with sort of electric fence. So I highly recommend Gallagher as Energizer. You can get cheaper ones, you get sort of more expensive ones. We've had this one for a couple of years now. I think we're on to our 2nd battery, which is, you know, you can get the batteries from Gallagher themselves for like 20-25 quid, and a charger, you know, you can buy sort of from somewhere else, a couple of quid, and it works great. We've had sort of the odd wire burnout, so you can replace them, again fairly cheap, pretty much never let us down. Like I said about winter, got to charge the battery quite often, and maybe for winter if you got sort of a mains Energizer probably would be best, but for the time being where the weather's sort of nice, yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So that leads me on to number 4, our fence tester, or as they've got on here, a fault finder. Again, made by Gallagher. This is a birthday present. I use this every day. Every time I come and check the pigs, every time I come and feed, I always check the fence. If the fence isn't working for whatever reason, the pigs will definitely get out. So what we do is literally put my thumb on that little spot there, run the wire across here, and you see 2.7. So we want that to be 5, which is 5,000 volts. So it's showing that basically either sort of wire is buried somewhere. If it was on 0, that would tell me that either something's wrong with the Energizer, something wrong with this, or there's a major issue going on somewhere around here with the fence. So it could be touching sort of an old stock fence or something like that. So if it's touching like an old stock fence, that wire could be going for ages, and if it's old it could be buried, so it basically just drained the power. So we're on, I think it was like 2.7 now, so we're going to find out where the issue is. So we're going to take a look now. Basically just scan around. As you can see, this is their wallow. They like to root, so they will get mud onto fence. So you can see I have still got a fence on. As long as you got sort of wellies on or boots, should be alright giving it a kick. So just come across here, everything looks alright here. The odd twig and stuff, that's fine. This spot that sow with the 10 piglets, I can see straight away now. So that's come from her side. So as you can see, this is covering the bottom wire. This is probably the issue. There could be something else as well, so I'll keep going. Hello, you have been. So what I'll do is clear this. Sometimes when there's a lot of earth on there, if you just lift the insulated post, you're not going to get shocked with that. Just clear it. And what we can do then is just check the fence straight away. Now it's only showing 2.8, so we've got a bigger problem somewhere. I thought it was going to be higher actually. I was hoping that was going to be it. So 2.8, let's keep going. Hey guys. Once you've kept pigs and you've had them in the same area for a bit of time, you'll have a rough idea where the issue may lie. Like there's a little bit around here, but that's not going to cause major problems. No, that looks alright. As you can see, this, like the overgrowth in there, was what it looked like, and they've cleared all of this, so we're going to reseed this. That'll be better than when it was before the pigs came. That's our boar there, getting quite close to the fence. I'm going to go back here. I can see another issue up here. See on the bottom wire. And again, once it cleared little issues, we'll check it again. What are we on? Ah, that's it. 5.9. 5.8? Yeah. 5.7. 5.8. There we go. So that's great. So although over there was more earth on the wire than here, I think because it was wet it caused more of an issue. So now that we've sorted that, job done. But like I said, like this fence tester is brilliant. I don't think I've ever changed the battery. And make sure that the pigs stay in, which is one of the biggest challenges of keeping pigs. So number 5 is the pig board. So it may look a bit extreme, but basically if you want to move them to keep them safe, keep you safe, the board is absolutely brilliant. You don't even have to touch them with it quite often. You kind of just guide with the board. Works really well. When you're moving sort of big sows or boars, you can move towards there, so you can get towards their head a bit with the board. You know, I've got a scar on my leg where a sow has caught me accidentally, and they can do quite a lot of damage, and especially boars, they can do a lot of damage. So you don't want to be sort of close to their head. Some people may say, you know, they got really sort of soft ones, get on really well, which is great, and our boar is really quiet, but I don't trust him 100% completely. He is an animal. So with this board you can move around really easily. It's good for them, it's good for us, and yeah, you know, they are, I think about 40 quid, something like that. We've got 2 of them, a bit of a smaller one that Tanya uses, but they're absolutely brilliant, and it helps like sort of loading pigs, bringing them off, moving them to different pens. Like when we bought Spot our sow up from that really overgrown area, we used this board and it's brilliant. You know, now and again she did decide to turn around and go back. Use this board, blocks them off, and like I say, it's safe for them, safe for the handler, and yeah, it does a great job. So to summarise, our top 5 pig keeping essentials are quality shelter, good troughs, good Energizer, a fence tester, and a board to help move the pigs. So what we'll do is put links to the products in the description, and yeah, take a look. Like I said, for a couple of, you know, we've been keeping pigs for a couple of years, and those 5 things are pretty key really to make things easier for you, make sure that you're safe, that the pigs are safe. So if you've got any questions, then drop them in the comments box, and yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Diolch.